In the heart of the mist-shrouded mountains of Eldoria, a legend whispered through the ages spoke of a blade forged in the fires of a dying star. It was known as the Cursed Sword, a weapon of unimaginable power that could either save or destroy dragons, creatures revered and feared in equal measure. The sword lay hidden, waiting for a worthy bearer, one whose heart was as pure as the light of the moon, yet tempered by the shadows of the earth. In a small village nestled at the foot of the mountains, a young woman named Lyra spent her days tending to her family's modest farm. With hair as dark as midnight and eyes that sparkled like emeralds, she possessed an indomitable spirit. Tales of dragons had always captivated her, igniting a fire within her soul. She would often wander the meadows, imagining herself soaring through the skies on the back of a mighty dragon, the wind whipping through her hair and the world sprawling beneath her. One fateful evening, as the sun dipped below the horizon, painting the sky in hues of crimson and gold, Lyra stumbled upon an ancient cave while gathering herbs. Drawn by an inexplicable force, she ventured deeper into the darkness, her heart racing with anticipation. The air was thick with an otherworldly energy, and the walls glimmered with the faintest traces of luminescent crystals. At the cave's heart, she found it, the cursed sword embedded in a stone pedestal, its blade shimmering with a spectral glow. As she approached, a voice echoed in her mind, a deep rumble that resonated through her very being. Only one with the courage to wield the burden of choice may lay claim to this sword. Will you accept the dragon's promise? The weight of the question bore down on her, and in that moment, she understood the gravity of her decision. With a deep breath, she grasped the hilt, and the sword responded to her touch, releasing a pulse of energy that enveloped her in a radiant light. In the days that followed, Lyra trained tirelessly, mastering the art of combat and forging a bond with the sword. She learned that the blade was not merely an instrument of destruction, but a conduit of magic that could heal or harm, depending on the wielder's intent. As she honed her skills, whispers of her exploits spread throughout the land. Tales of a young warrior wielding the cursed sword began to reach the ears of both allies and enemies alike. But darkness loomed on the horizon. A malevolent sorcerer named Malakar sought the sword for himself. Driven by a desire for power, he believed that by harnessing the sword's magic, he could dominate the dragons and bend them to his will. His minions, twisted creatures born of shadow and malice, began to scour the land, leaving destruction in their wake. One night, as Lyra stood atop a hill overlooking her village, a shadow fell upon her heart. She could sense the encroaching darkness, a storm brewing on the edge of her consciousness. The dragons, once proud and majestic, were being hunted, their numbers dwindling as Malakar's forces advanced. She knew she had to act, to protect the very beings that had inspired her dreams. With the sword at her side, Lyra set forth on a quest to unite the remaining dragons against Malakar. Her journey took her through enchanted forests, across treacherous ravines, and into the lairs of ancient dragons. Along the way, she encountered allies, a fierce warrior named Kyle, whose loyalty was unwavering, and Elowen, a wise sorceress who had long studied the lore of dragons. Together, they faced trials that tested their resolve, battling creatures of darkness and navigating the treacherous politics of dragonkind. Lyra's bond with the sword deepened as she learned to channel its magic. In moments of desperation, she discovered the ability to heal the wounded, restoring life to those who had been ravaged by Malakar's minions. With each victory, her confidence grew, and the legends of the cursed sword transformed into a beacon of hope for the oppressed. As the final confrontation loomed, Lyra and her allies gathered the dragons in a hidden valley, a sanctuary untouched by Malakar's greed. The dragons, magnificent and fierce, regarded her with a mixture of skepticism and awe. They had suffered greatly, and trust was a fragile thing. But Lyra, with her unwavering spirit, spoke to them of unity, of the power that lay in their shared strength. Her words ignited a spark of hope, and one by one, the dragons pledged their allegiance to her cause. The day of reckoning arrived, and the skies darkened as Malakar's forces descended upon the valley. The clash of steel and the roar of dragons filled the air, a cacophony of chaos and courage. Lyra, wielding the cursed sword, fought with a ferocity born of desperation. She danced through the battlefield, her every strike imbued with the magic of the sword, each swing resonating with the promise of salvation. But Malachar was formidable, his dark magic swirling around him like a tempest. The final duel between them was a battle of wills, light against darkness. As they clashed, Lyra felt the weight of the sword's curse pressing upon her, a reminder that power came with a price. In that moment, she understood that the true strength of the sword lay not in its ability to destroy, but in its capacity to heal. With a surge of determination, she called upon the essence of the dragons, channeling their strength through the sword. A brilliant light erupted from the blade, engulfing Malachar and shattering his dark magic. In that instant, she made her choice, embracing the promise of the sword. The darkness dissipated, and with it, Malachar's reign of terror crumbled. As the dust settled, Lyra stood amidst the remnants of battle, victorious yet humbled. The dragons soared overhead, their roars echoing in celebration. She had fulfilled the dragon's promise, uniting the realms of man and dragon, and in doing so, had forged a legacy that would be sung by bards for generations to come. The cursed sword, once a tool of destruction, had become a symbol of hope, a reminder that even in the darkest of times, the light of courage and unity could prevail. Thanks for watching. Please also watch our upcoming episode, The Dragon's War, and don't forget to like and subscribe. Universal Stories channel by UKB.